Happy October 18th, everyone. Welcome to Midwest Horror Network's October 2020 special, where we discuss all of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. And boy, howdy, was this one better than yesterday's.
Holy shit, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
By a long shot.
So yes, as always, I'm Brandon, and with me are Zach, Mark, and David. They're just in it for the sin.
I'm always in it for the sin, bro.
Who isn't?
Sin like you mean it.
Zach's the king of sin.
All right.
You have no idea.
So yes, today we have Treehouse of Horror 18.
Woo! We're a little over halfway done.
More than halfway done. So this was another November aired Halloween special. Thank you, baseball. Marge is making Halloween cupcakes, and she's addressing the audience, which I think this is the first time in a really long time that Marge has addressed the audience. It's not like the old intros where she comes out of the curtains, but you remember those from like the very first.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of that was
that's like the first
and second one.
It was the first.
It was the first
like
handful.
First three, yeah.
First
Yeah.
three.
And then there were kind of variations on it.
I think the fourth when they did the Bart and Lisa thing. Potentially.
Yes, the fourth one. Well, the fourth one was the night gallery thing with Bart.
Yeah.
And then
But Lisa was also in that for a
the
sprinkle full
fifth
moments.
one in season 6 was like the last one where Marge comes out and is like, Congress won't even let us show us this. And then I think that was the last time they did the curtain. But yeah, we don't have the curtain this time, but we do have Marge talking to the audience, saying, do you remember Halloween? It was last week. But here at our house, and she's going about Halloween, but then an American Idol ad, lower third, comes up. And she's like, excuse me, and she vacuums it up, tries to talk again, and then another ad comes up, and she just takes some bug spray, and she just kills the little people in the ad with the bug spray. And then as she tries to continue talking, 4 more ads, one in each corner of the screen pop up, and she just flat out tries to kill them, or does kill them. She puts one underneath a magnet on the fridge, drills another, puts another little guy into the microwave.
House got fucking
Gremlin.
Yeah.
Gremlin.
Yeah, house got gremlin.
I think it was 24, Jack Bauer, who got the magnet on the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them just runs away.
Prison Break.
Of course they let Prison Break run away. I don't know why.
It's called Prison Break, Zach.
Yeah, but they could have done a little bit more work with that. We'll put a little fucking prison bars or something.
Have them jump the fence.
There,
Which-
something.
I do wonder if the ads that they did for those shows are modeled after the legit lower third ads.
They have to have been.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is House on Fox?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
it
Yes,
was.
it was.
I don't know why I thought that was on USA or something.
They showed reruns on USA.
Yeah, they do show reruns on USA, so that's probably where you
Yeah,
get
House
that
seems
from.
more like a USA show than it does a Fox show.
Dude, USA is kind of like the
does.
dumping ground for every other show. It's like the syndication network.
Oh, you guys don't want Monday Night Raw anymore? Come over here!
The
Or was that SmackDown? I can't remember.
So
Both.
Marge takes these little advertisement body parts, puts them into the meatloaf, and as she's cutting it up for her family for dinner, you see the little body parts that spell out the title, Treehouse of Horror 18, and some of the credits, and you see a little beating heart in one of them. It was
cool.
just cool and gross enough. I liked this intro.
I did too.
Yeah.
Enjoyed
It
it.
was light years away from last year.
Yeah, the intro alone was better than
Ugh.
Treehouse 17 in its entirety. Yeah, fun little intro. So this brings us to our first segment, E.T. Go Home. Zach, tell us about E.T. Go Home.
For once, the title makes sense, and it actually matches what the fucking logo is. It's one of the Simpsons ripoffs of E.T. Well, not ripoff, because instead of E.T., or what the hell was his name? Kane? Kodos?
This
One
was
of the
actually-
green
this was
tentacle
Kodos.
aliens.
This was Kodos.
It was Kodos. It's mostly Kane a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's weird.
sometimes they don't name them by name. So whenever we don't get one of them actually saying their names, I just default to saying Kang,
Huh?
but they did say Kodos.
Well, essentially, the plot of this episode is E.T., the only difference being green tentacle alien person is trying to take over and destroy humanity. No, let me rephrase that. Eat humanity instead of go home. That is really the entire episode. He's fucking with Bart and Lisa, toying with them, trying to make them, help him build this teleporter device. And by the end of the episode, they realize what he's doing. And the U.S. Army comes and essentially destroys his entire race.
Yeah, that's pretty
That got
cool.
fun at the end.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And they did actually recreate the light coming out of the shed, that shot from E.T.
I was good. I was just like, they have a fucking shed?
No, but they do
Yeah.
now for blocking the
Because the story needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually at one point the creators did say that when they do need something, they'll just make it up. Like primarily, Marge and Homer don't have a TV in their bedroom, but if there's a storyline where it's like they're in bed but they need them watching TV, they'll put a TV in their bedroom.
Why not?
And then it's also, they're very loose with the geography of Springfield. So, yeah, Springfield as a whole is just kind of whatever we need for the story or the joke to work, that's what we'll do for it. As opposed to like South Park, which they tried to have a geography, and then what was that first South Park video game that came out on like the Xbox or Xbox 360? Was it Stick of Truth, or was there one
Stick of
before
Truth
that?
was first, and Fractured Butthole is the second one.
All right, so
Gotta love South
yeah,
Park.
when Stick of Truth came out, one of my friends, Jake, he was telling me that was the first time where they actually went, oh, we have a sort of a loose geography, but we actually need to map out where exactly everything actually is now. Whereas Springfield has always just kind of been loose, which is, when you take that into consideration, it's a miracle that Simpsons Hit and Run got made.
I was about to say, I'm like, I wonder how much fun they had trying to actually map shit out in the fucking games they did
Yeah.
back in the day.
Because there are times where the power plant is in their backyard in the show. But yeah, this one was basically E.T., but if E.T. was, a bloodthirsty alien. There were some good moments in here, like Homer in the shower.
I don't know, I thought it was just as boring as E.T. itself.
I wouldn't say it was as boring as E.T. was.
E.T. fucking sucks!
It does.
Yeah.
Spielberg is one of my favorite directors, but that movie is so fucking boring. It is unbelievable.
Okay, I will say this though: the way that when they did the shot about blocking the street with all the army men, and instead of flying over,
He just shoots
he
him.
just shoots them, and they turned him to mush or whatever. I was like, that should have happened in the movie.
He should have used a shotgun.
Homer wasn't there; he didn't have a shotgun.
Yeah,
with
but
him.
in the E.T. movie, there was originally a shotgun in that thing, or what? Oh no, wait.
In the kid's bike?
No, okay, no, wait.
Because that would have been
Jesus.
awesome.
No, I'm like, wait. I know they fucking composited out a shotgun because they were pansies or something like that.
What you're talking about
Was that the police
is-
officer?
Yeah, when they did the 20th anniversary re-release, it was some of the police officers. Spielberg digitally erased the guns and replaced them with walkie-talkies, which is where that joke in the one South Park episode with Spielberg and Lucas comes in.
Yeah.
Or it's like, it's the special re-release of Saving Private Ryan, where all the guns have been digitally replaced by walkie-talkies, and then just goes to a clip of everybody shooting each other with walkie-talkies.
Yeah, that D-Day scene would look amazing. My walk is fucked.
That's
Fucking stupid.
That's amazing.
No, it's not. Just don't encourage it, Mark.
That's awesome.
Shut up.
Hilarious.
But yeah, there is. I thought this one was fun. Okay, but fun.
When Homer dropped in and said they're gonna let us kill a few.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, the ending is where it really took off for me, because it just becomes carnage, exploding alien heads. Homer gleefully saying, "Come on, Bart, they're gonna let us kill one."
You had a giant gun. You could have killed hundreds, but you wait to pick up your son, you fucking pansy.
He's being considerate.
Well, Homer wasn't the one flying the copter.
That's also true.
You have the gun. You have the option. I don't think they're going to give a shit. It's an alien fucking invasion.
This is
A
true.
family that kills together stays together.
And I did like how when the aliens were coming out of the portal, it was like the Fantasia music, but then that music bleeds into like a Ride of the Valkyries knockoff as the army's coming in.
Nice.
Very Apocalypse Now. Not really, but kind of.
Sure.
Kubrick did it better.
Well, of course.
Oh, you're talking about Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, no, they're talking about...
Coppola did
Coppola.
Coppola did Apocalypse Now. Kubrick did Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, whatever. They're all the same.
They are not.
They are not, sir. You were incorrect, sir.
They are not.
You could splice those two movies together and they make one big, giant, awesome movie.
That's a mindfuck that I don't want to deal with right now.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but you should be wrong.
I should be, but I'm not.
And then it ends with the darkest that I can remember Homer being, with him just smothering the alien with a pillow to death.
Yeah, holy shit.
And just Homer's face just like completely... Oh, that was terrifying. And then there's I did like the when Bart is showing off his toys to Kodos.
Yes.
Mark, since you're the one that spoke up during the viewing of it, do you want to talk about this?
No, so he grabs, he's doing several of his dolls, and then
like Krusty Doll,
Funzo doll, and then he's like, this is my Iraqi GI Joe that has insufficient armor for a battle situation, and I'm like, that's how you fucking do an Iraq joke.
Yep. Take that, Treehouse 17.
There you go. Like, that's how you do an Iraq
And then
war
you also
joke.
get, after the shower scene, Marge is like, you can't house an alien here. And Kodos is like, it's because I'm Jewish, isn't it? And Marge is like, oh no, some of my best friends are. You can stay. And it's like we got the Iraq joke and we got a Jewish joke. Two types of jokes that just absolutely fell so flat in Treehouse 17. I do wonder that if they put those in there just to say, we can do this type of humor.
I probably. No doubt.
Yeah. This isn't one that I remember often. Like, it's an enjoyable enough watch.
In my head, I'm trying to, like, decide whether or not this is as funny as I think it deserves because of how bad the previous episode was.
Yeah.
It's kind of like dying of thirst in a desert, and then somebody hands you some fucking water.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're like, oh, this is the best water I've ever had in my life.
Goddamn right it is.
And then if you keep having water, you know, eventually you're like, this is just regular old water.
I think there's a little sand in this water.
Well,
Yeah.
it is definitely better than Treehouse 17.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
There was laughter in this room during this episode. So, like, this is one where it's like, if we were just in normal conversation, not going through these, and you were just list off Treehouse segments, and you would get to this one. Like, I've always remembered me not liking this one that much, and watching it again this time, it's like, I don't know why I felt that way. Like, it's not one of the greatest. It's far from the greatest.
Because you hate 17 so much, and you
I
just
do hate
saw
17, and I did just watch 17.
This one
but
seems like just another average Treehouse episode, in all honesty. It's not great, it's not bad, it's not terrible, it's just kind of there.
This is pretty. It's
Are
a
you
pretty
talking
dark
about, Are you talking about
episode.
the episode or the segment?
Just the episode in general.
Okay.
Like,
In
overall,
general.
you're going to think this one's way better because you hate the last one that we just watched.
Good point.
I mean, the last like few episodes we've watched, they weren't as violent as this episode. Like, they stopped with it, but this like episode, like every segment was pretty.
That's
fucking
also
dark and
true. They
violent.
haven't been going like hardcore with the
Yeah.
violence or the horror. They've been doing very basic supernatural things, but
Yeah.
nothing in the
Yeah.
realm of horror or Halloween.
And this is the first one in a while that, like David said,
Yeah.
did go into the violence. which
How
we
long ago
haven't
was the
missed yet.
dolphin one? Because that was the last
That's
one I remember. I remember
3 or
being
4 episodes.
I remember
That
that,
would've
that one being
been-
actually legitimately violent.
That would have been like season.
For The Simpsons.
That might have been Treehouse 11 or 12.
Because that one in my eyes was
I
actually
know it was
legitimately violent.
after the one where the machines came to life and started killing everybody. I think it was the one after that. So it was either 11 or 12.
Okay.
So that puts us at like
6 episodes.
6 or 7 away.
Yeah.
Well, that was the last time I actually remember legitimately. Like, it was a great episode. Like, it was hilarious. There was a bunch of great jokes in it. But it was legitimately violent.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot more violence in it. And yeah, there were a lot more darker elements in this than they have been in several of the episodes.
Yeah, because like in this one, we got exploding alien heads in the first segment. We got a whole
Episode
gun-
14.
That was Treehouse 14
Yep,
for the Dolphins.
supposedly.
Wow.
Huh? All right. So 4 episodes ago.
Either that or I'm reading those Roman numerals wrong.
What was the Roman numeral?
XI.
11.
11?
Oh.
But yeah, it's we had a whole like gunfight sequence in segment 2, and then segment 3 we got some weird things we'll get into when we get to it. But yeah, this one again, it was one of the light, breezy, we're going for more jokes than anything else segments, and for the most part it worked. It's not one I'd probably revisit outside of the October season a lot, but it was definitely better than 17. Whether that is
Are you sure?
whether that is affecting my opinion or not remains to be seen.
It's clearly affecting your opinion.
Well, are you saying that this segment was worse than 17?
I'm saying it's no different, but you all hated 17.
I did
So you're
hate
all gonna
17.
love this one, of course.
That's a good point. I think I'm gonna. I was gonna wait till the last part of this episode or our episode to say this, but I think I'm gonna remember this far more fondly on that like side of remembering the good episodes. Primarily because of how bad 17 was.
Yeah.
I think if 17 wasn't as bad, this would be relegated to that middle section.
Yeah,
of,
like I have
of
no
episodes I don't
doubt
remember.
watching this right after 17 definitely makes us feel better about this one.
Excluding
the
me.
question in my mind is by how much?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say a pretty big margin since we're still talking about the first segment.
It is.
True.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Which I don't really think.
I don't think that this episode would have been like right in the middle. At least not
I mean,
for
it would
me
be
because
it would be
of-
closer to the better side of things.
Yeah.
But again, it would still be in that middle level of
True, but
of,
this is like again, like really fucking violent compared to the last few episodes.
I will
we've
agree with that. The
watched.
violence is much appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
Like the closest thing we've had to violence in the past few episodes is Homer and a robot kid getting chopped in half.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah, that was.
And that was more played for comedy than the actual violence or grossness factor.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of fucked up. You know, it's Bart. I mean, he had Bart try to shoot his pet alien essentially. He didn't want to, and pushes Bart away and just blasts him.
Simply
in the
because
frickin'
Homer
head.
bored.
Yeah.
Again, you had the opportunity to shoot an army, but you chose not to. That's not my fault. If I see a bunch of coveted bastards outside my front window, I'm going fucking nuts.
Fuck yeah. That's what video games, trained us for.
Yep.
Remember Reach, ladies and
Alien
gentlemen.
invasions.
Any last thoughts on this first segment before we move on? I liked it more than the actual E.T. movie.
I don't know. They were both bad.
Yeah, I liked it better than AT.
I liked it better than I liked ET. But to me, ET
I'll give it this much. It doesn't waste as much of your time as E.T. does.
Oh, I
is
didn't waste
very
my
true.
time. I like literally watched like maybe 20 minutes of it and said, "Fuck this."
Smart man.
I've never watched the whole film.
You're a smart
I never
man.
will.
Much smarter than the rest of us.
The last time I saw ET was age appropriate for me to watch ET.
Dude, I
And I
was
watched
age
it.
appropriate when I watched it. I still thought it was stupid.
But you were not a normal child at all.
Are you insulting me?
Yes.
How dare you?
So moving on to segment 2, Mr. and Mrs. Simpson.
AKA,
David.
AKA David's real life.
Yeah, maybe. But you'll never know.
What are you talking about? We just saw it on a fucking screen.
He's got you there, David.
True.
Word.
Well, this is a parody of.
There's a reason why he's tired every time he comes over here.
Oh my god. No, you got no idea. So yeah, parody of Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Obviously we start off with marriage counseling when Homer and Marge are reminiscing, I guess, and there's a flashback going on. They're at, I think, home, and Marge is wondering why Homer's leaving and staying out all night, not realizing that both of them are secret assassins or secret agents. Homer gets like a weird phone call from Mr. Burns, which he takes in the bathroom, where he has like hidden guns in the walls and some kind of cannon replaces the toilet. But anyway, Mr. Burns is his boss, assigns him to assassinate Kent Brockman, which is the news anchor. He heads out, and there's a big party going on where he's got a nice little rifle. He's at the roof. He's dressed like Super Mario for some reason. He's got the weird, like, long Italian-style mustache, overalls,
Shut up.
and overalls.
Shut up.
What's wrong, Mark? Uncle Mario not doing it for you today?
I guess not.
Shut up. Shut up.
I think before that in the kitchen, Homer was like, "Yeah, I'm going to like the zoo, to like
It was like Midnight Monkey.
Midnight Monkey Madness or
That
something."
was it. Yeah, Midnight Monkey Madness.
Midnight Monkey
And then
Madness.
she was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be home either because I'm gonna go flip
Wheelbarrows
Wheelbarrows
in
in
case
the
of the rain
rain.
tomorrow.
How the fuck does that make any sense? They're wheelbarrows. Why do you need to flip them? Is there something I don't know about wheelbarrows?
Yes. So you don't fill them up with rain and overflow them, or even rust them.
Why wouldn't you want to fill them up? That's water.
Because they're a real pain in the ass to fucking move. You have to move them somewhere.
Weak.
Yeah, that's what dollies are for.
Thank you.
It's like the purest like city kid who has no idea about what it's like to have any kind of larger area of land.
They both wind up at the party in the disguise, Super Mario, and then she's got some kind of blonde wig, and he's thinking of a pun or some kind of joke for the
A
moment.
good one-liner before he kills his
Kills
target.
Kemp, yeah, and he found one, but he didn't want to say it out loud because he was the only one there, which sounds like Brandon.
I was going to say, I'm sure that's what Brandon says when we're not here.
Yeah, 100%.
You have no physical evidence to support that claim.
Exactly.
See, this is the time when I actually have no evidence to support it. I just know it to be true.
So yeah, he gets ready to shoot Kent Brockman, and Marge stabs Kent, and Homer's like, "Well, damn, now I don't get paid," and tries to shoot the mysterious woman, and then shoots the wig off Marge, and he realizes it's his wife. They end up home, and
Which I just want to point out real quick. He says, "Now I don't get paid," but later he says he just gets paid by whatever is in the guy's wallet.
yeah,
So he could have easily just still gone to the body and
true.
True.
Which didn't that didn't make any sense after he said that.
Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah.
Good luck getting to that body. With all
Dude,
those people around?
that's
Fuck
true
that.
too.
That is true. Dude, which by the way, I don't want you to miss out on that super cool effect. That
Oh,
I liked,
yeah.
with the guy stacking the champagne
bartender.
glasses.
Oh yeah.
The
He misses Marge once and shoots the waiter in the head, and then the waiter like kind of falls over, and
he's
the
doing-
shot
he's
glasses are
doing
filling
that,
up.
He's doing that pyramid of champagne glasses.
The
and
waterfall.
He's filling it, and then when he gets shot in the head, his head just falls in the top glass, and it's got that waterfall effect
Yeah.
of the blood.
That's cool.
Super, super violent episode. Loving it, especially with that effect. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But yeah, we end up back at home. Marge is making lasagna, and in his head is like, "Don't eat it; it's poison." And then the camera pans down. He ate a bite. Okay, just don't eat the whole thing. Camera pans down, empty plate. He's like, "Shit." And what else did he say? He said,
Don't ask
"Okay,
for seconds.
Don't ask for seconds." All right, I want seconds. Okay, you can kill her after you eat seconds.
And he says that.
He
out
says that
loud.
out loud, and she's just like, "Son of a bitch." Pulls the fucking guns out, and he pulls out a big fucking shotgun, and they go on and have a shootout in the house, and they keep pulling out bigger guns.
Yep.
So
And
that was
that goes
pretty.
into a whole choreographed,
Yeah,
high octane shootout.
As Chief Wiggum would say.
No, as reported by Nay Lieber.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Fucking Ned.
fucking
I wonder,
clown.
I wonder,
Anonymous
who
tip.
called. I wonder who called it in.
But yeah,
Fucking Flanders.
yeah. And then Marge, I think, shoots him with a crossbow, and it's like, I would have taken a bribe.
And then they proceed to fuck on his dead body.
Then they go back to marriage counseling.
Oh yeah, that goes
Yeah,
Yeah.
back.
Well, it wasn't marriage
But it wasn't
counseling.
marriage
It's
counseling.
Oh
revealed
yeah, that's
to
right.
be-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's revealed to be that Principal Skinner called them because Bart did something in the school bus. He did a no-no, and they pull out a gun and shoot him. And then he says something smart.
I really enjoyed this one. Very straightforward. It is all basic. Once it hits a certain point, it's basically just one long action sequence. But seeing like Homer and Marge go at it and like constantly one up each other during the fight, I thought
Yeah.
that was really fun. Homer took like the pendulum out of the clock, and then she took the I guess the chain out of it, and they were fighting with those. That was kind of cool. Homer kicking her favorite couch. I thought was a little
Yeah.
humorous.
Okay, so have you guys ever seen Mr. and Mrs.
No.
Smith? Okay.
Yes.
I did like when it came out.
Dude, like that fight is almost a beat for beat of the fight.
Yeah.
And that's actually that couch joke is a direct joke from the movie.
Really?
It like it's making fun of how a certain sequence goes.
Okay.
Literally, Angelina Jolie gets thrown in front of the couch, and Brad Pitt is simulating kicking her, but it basically looks like he's kicking a couch, and that's pretty much where the joke comes from. But actually, it's a pretty it's a pretty good fucking parody of the actual fight, and the actual fight in the movie is pretty damn cool.
It's literally the best part of the movie.
I enjoy all the movie. There's a lot of schmaltzy moments for sure, but that one fight is actually pretty awesome, and then it does lead into a crazy sexcapade afterwards.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jennifer Aniston.
There was also an interesting time in pop culture because they were on the ropes during that time, so it was like art imitating life, life imitating art in that movie. It was really interesting what was going on during the time. But this is a pretty good fucking parody. I mean, actually, there's one joke that made me laugh really hard was when Marge is like, I can't believe you never told me that you're an assassin, and it's like, well, you never told me you're an assassin. She's like, I've literally told you that 18 times,
20 times. You never listened to me, and then
reading
the newspaper.
I could relate.
No, honey, you look way more beautiful.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Now just replace that with David reading a cinematographer magazine, and you got his home life.
Yeah. And, I mean, it is a pretty straight up parody of that particular thing.
Yeah.
All the way down to all the weapons being shifted and everything else in its secret compartments. Like it's all from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. But it's pretty fun. This is a fun parody of it.
Yeah. And it's as long as you at least are aware of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I think you'll get enjoyment out of it. Because like I said, I've never seen the movie, but I still like this segment. And there's apparently a joke in there that I would have liked more if I had seen the movie.
Yeah. I think, and actually, if you like this segment, you'll probably like the movie.
I'll add it to my list that I'll never get to. All right, Mark, tell us about the third and final segment of this episode, Heck House.
So Heck House is our designated Halloween episode, where there's actually Halloween going on. A bunch of the kids, Milhouse, Lisa, Bart, and Nelson, are all out trick-or-treating, and they eventually end up at Skinner's mother's house, who's a raging bitch because she doesn't...
There's Skinner's house because Seymour Skinner does live with his mom.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. And she's one of those terrible people that's, like, I don't believe in Halloween. You don't get any candy. I'm like, fuck you. I fucking hate people like that. That's like a personal thing with me. I just remember being like, you attacked my religion.
Mark, how many houses have you TP'd?
None.
Lies.
Dude, fucking toilet paper's expensive, bro. I don't want to spend money.
Especially these days, it's like fucking gold.
Dude, I don't want to spend money on that shit. If somebody else bought the toilet paper, I'd be like, why not?
I'm just lazy. I don't want to throw toilet paper all over the place. I'd rather cover a house in blood. Do something cool.
Or the eggs.
Eggs are good food. I don't want to waste.
That's a good point. I mean, again, though, yeah, that's going back to that. But yeah, no, that like stems from my childhood. Like, the being around like when I was 8 or whatever, and then hearing my dad like bitch about somebody who had a sign up saying, "We don't believe in Halloween. Don't ring our doorbell. We don't have candy." And he's like, it's fucking bullshit. Like,
just turn your lights off.
I mean, they had the lights up, but they added the sign, and then and he's like, this is like. You can't go to the fucking dollar store and buy some candy. This is for the kids. Like, fuck you. So it's a little. This episode's a little personal for me, just because I love Halloween so much and it's such an important holiday in my life.
It's the only holiday that matters.
Sure, for the sake of this argument, sure. But Zach's been to my house on Halloween. I think.
I love how your dad hands out alcohol to the adults.
Yeah, I have.
That is great.
So I have a tradition in my house with Halloween. We've been doing it for like 10, 12 years. We pull our bonfire out to the front, and we have a little bonfire out there, and we have a bunch of wine and beer, and we give candy to the kids, and then wine and beer to the moms and dads, and then we order pizza for everybody there, and my neighbor makes specialty cocktails. It's like a big deal. Like the rest of my family fights over the rest of the holidays. Like Halloween is my dad's holiday. They decide to embrace in the ultimate tradition of trick or treat. Trick or treat stems from like 1800, 1700 England, where people would on Halloween night or Devil's Night, the young kids would actually perform pranks on people. So to appease those kids from not doing that, they would actually provide treats for them. Thus became the whole thing of trick or treat.
See, the devil provides good shit every now and then.
Indeed. Indeed. So, so obviously she says, I don't have any candy. And she literally spits in Milhouse's thing. I'm like, wow, you're fucking awful. I hate you.
You are a terrible human being.
The, so, raging one, nonetheless. So, so they say, you know what? We're going to engage in the good old-fashioned trick in this circumstance. So they get a shit ton of water balloons, ring her doorbell, and then start chucking water balloons at her. And Lisa, being the goody two-shoes she is, she makes a failed attempt to throw. She goes, eh! Yeah, and then it kind of lands on the ground. And then they decide to wreak hell over the whole town. So they ended up doing a bunch of pranks, which is actually funny enough. Again, going back to redeeming themselves from the last episode, they actually use a musical choice that doesn't suck, which is which was the Ramones.
Yeah.
That they used during the whole montage, which is actually pretty fucking cool.
And those tricks are more than just pranks. That there is like a freaking assault in there with a baseball bat.
Yeah, dude, and then a robbery.
What was it? Millhouse was standing in front of the door. What the fucking mole dude or whatever the hell his name is throws a piece of candy in the bag. Then the big kid comes out with Nelson comes out with a baseball bat and just slaps him in the face with it. It's like, damn.
Yeah, that was
and then they rob Lenny's house.
He's like, this is not even a prank. You're just stealing my shit.
Lisa comes out. I fed your goldfish. You overfed him. You're the worst of the bunch.
And then finally a mob shows up at Homer's house, trying to get the kids.
Yep, we got Patty and Selma tarred and feathered. Mo is covered in mouse traps.
Yeah, that sucks. The so they said that somebody's got to teach these kids a lesson, and then Flanders comes out from the darkness, and there's a lot. They made a lot of really interesting jokes about this guy being super religious, but he's played Satan a lot.
He's played it twice.
It seems a lot more than that.
Twice.
But okay.
Zach's right.
Okay, fair enough. The Brandon didn't like to say that.
No, I'm just surprised Zach knew a Simpsons fact.
I'm being forced against my will to watch this shit.
It's not like we're Clockwork Oranging you.
Yeah, we're really not.
It really feels like it.
Ned decides that he's going to teach them a lesson, so he basically turns the church into a haunted house, which, by the way, is actually a real thing.
Yep, Hell House. When I was taking sociology in my first college, we actually watched a documentary about Hell House, and it's basically this church that puts on a haunted house every year that's supposed to like warn people against sin.
Yep.
And
is it actually scary or is it hilariously
adorable?
The
Scripts they have their performers say, I don't want to say act, because acting implies that they're, trying, but it's a
thing.
It's
okay, let me ask you this. If I were to walk through there, would I come out terrified or laughing hysterically?
Or pissed.
That too. Okay, three things.
I'm gonna go with all three.
I would say you would probably be more, because I don't think they charge for it. Now, if they charged for it, then yeah, you'd be pissed.
Okay.
But because I don't remember if they charge for it. I don't think they do, because it's supposed to be like a community outreach thing.
Okay.
Exactly.
So it's not meant to scare you.
Is it even around anymore?
Well, I mean, it's meant to scare you, but not scare you in the way that normal.
It's not meant to be like. It's not meant to be like roller coaster scared. It's supposed to be like this. Is supposed to scare you away from sin and into a good lifestyle.
Now, the way I see it, when I go to hell, I'm probably gonna get a job.
Because I'll always remember the camera's on this one actress during a rehearsal, and she's like, no, I shouldn't have gotten into the occult by starting out by playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's basically the scripts are just like...
So that's one of those things where we're going to walk out of there with a face palm full of what the fuck did we just watch?
It's evangelicals do it. Like, not normal Christian folk, like evangelicals.
Wasn't that like a thing, though? Like when Dungeons and Dragons, like,
Oh
game
yeah,
first
Harry
came out, like
Dad,
the
Harry
parents
Potter,
were being like
the whole 9 yards. I remember.
I feel like from the
Even
80s to like the
wasn't safe.
yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah.
You had both PETA
Holy
and the
friggin'
Christian
God.
church
Oh,
coming after
okay.
it.
PETA.
All right, for our audience and everything else, you can't see me, but you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. During the documentary of I think it's Divulsion of Western Civilization.
De-evolution.
They're talking about
Decline?
Decline of Western Civilization, Part 1. So in the documentary, they're literally talking to like a Christian, like one of those Christian groups. They're talking about like the evil of metal music and rock music and everything else, and they're doing the devil like the rock on devil's horns, and they're trying to like line them up and how they make 666, which I find hilarious for two things. One, that's just stupid, and two, by the way, if you did any kind of fucking research and did any kind of backlogs, do you know what that actually is from? That is from Ronnie James Dio, who's Sicilian, and this is an Italian tradition of warding off evil. Not embracing evil, warding off it. So it stays away from you. Just like you're trying to do
Mark,
right now.
not everything is about the Italians.
I didn't say Italians, I said Sicilians. There's a
Look,
difference.
at the end of the day, rip Dio.
Flanders begins to walk them through the heck house because he can't see hell. Or my personal favorite, HE double hockey sticks.
No, he said HE double upside down sippy straws.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which is even dumber.
Oh my god. Yeah, you get to suffer.
So Ned goes, or Flanders goes through everything and starts talking with them about all their sins and everything else, and the kids are actually loving it. They fucking love how.
A piss poor example of showing punishment. Like, what is this? Skinner's like trying to go get a newspaper or something, and the dude's like, "Here's a Playboy magazine." Okay, and you have this half-ass like fucking school bus come and hit him, and you don't see
cardboard
school bus, and you don't even see it hit him. I don't think like the
It
curtain
just barely touches him.
yeah, and like nothing happens. I'm like, that's your example?
Dude, it's probably making fun of how shitty those hell houses are.
Now
Yeah,
I want to go see it just
it's
for the
more
hell of
like-
it.
It's more
If
like
you
I mean,
laugh
the
in there,
production
they will-
values at the Hell House are not like that. Like they're not good, but they're not as pathetic as the little cardboard cutout of a school bus. But it is making fun of that. Basically, Skinner was like,
Yeah.
"I bought a Playboy, now I got hit by a bus." No, it's like that kind of scripting.
So Ned starts bringing them through the gauntlet, and the kids just keep loving it more and more. Like I came here for the sin. And eventually, Flanders turns into Satan because he gets pissed off that the kids aren't being scared. So they all get trapped in chairs with the arms attached to them.
They're actually brought into hell, and as they're being sucked through the hell portal, Lisa's like, "I warned you, and yet my punishment is no less severe."
That's weird. Now
she's starting to wonder.
well, she has because of her good deed, she's kind of fucked up a lot of shit, including one zombie invasion and another alien invasion. Just saying.
I'm sure she's fucked up way more than that.
But we only watched the Treehouse episode, so we don't know.
No, I'm sure there's shit we're just forgetting.
Oh, no, it's true. That's true.
She's
But
nice.
so they go through the whole gauntlet.
Yeah, like the fucking dolphins.
Yeah, that's true.
See?
Yeah, and then she was also responsible for a dolphin invasion. Jesus, Lisa, get your shit together. Yeah, they go through the gauntlet of being shown all the different sins. Show a bunch of different examples.
Gluttony, where Homer is eating some spaghetti and then he turns into
spaghetti.
this glob of spaghetti.
And I'll have some bread with that. And then I love it. It eventually goes through the different ones, and then it goes to sloth. And the Homer was like, "I thought I got turned into spaghetti in the last one," and then it goes right through the.
He essentially gets Resident Evil'd.
Pretty much, yeah. And then they go through a couple different ones, and then they do the last three with Mo,
Which
lust and
was
greed.
Lust, greed, and envy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I envy my testicles.
I envy the crotchless because he got kicked in the crotch.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then I guess the kids eventually get so scared they admit that they're gonna.
We're gonna live a life sin-free and only go to wars.
Yep.
Which defeats the whole purpose.
That is two correct Iraq jokes in one episode. So
Is correct really the word we want, though?
properly executed.
Sure.
Just say effective.
Sure.
I like Zach's word.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So anyway, so we, I guess they go ahead and they get freed, and then Ned goes into a whole PSA, which I forgot what the PSA
he's
was.
Like, and for all of you watching this network, you're damned and going to hell. And that includes FX, Fox Sports, one other channel, and our newest addition to the Fox family, the Wall Street Journal.
Good night, everybody. And then the episode ended.
Yeah.
Which I actually liked how this ended. It was a fun little joke. It worked. It was a brief ending. It didn't end on a musical number, thank God. And then it was a nice send off. It was cool.
It's always nice when Fox cartoons just make fun of Fox.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Oh yes, always.
I really liked this one too. It definitely spends a lot more time in the setup than in the actual reason why we're watching a segment called Heck House. But the little bit of actual like supernaturalness that we get at the Hell House, Heck House, is I thought very well done.
This is actually there's something interesting about this is this segment is actually why I love Family Guy so much, because they took something very specific that not everybody is going to know about, but one of your friends might know about it, and then they'll fill you in on what they're actually making fun of. Because not many people, like, if they watch this episode, like, not many people know about the hell houses that are run by the evangelicals. So, like, I love the specific things, and that's, in my eyes, that's where I've always loved Family Guy, because of its spectrum of jokes.
Yeah.
Like, it can make something extremely hyper specific way over here, but then just be completely juvenile in the next second. And it hits you so hard, you go like, oh, I remember watching Family Guy one time and Stu made a reference, and I went, somebody somewhere laughed at that. Like, and that's where I've always, even though I don't get it, I like it. And this is why I like this episode, because it was very specific to me. Very similar to how the joke from Mr. and Mrs. Smith was.
Yeah.
Like, you had to, you would really appreciate that joke had you saw the movie. So I think that I really liked how specific it was.
Want to go to one of these places now and just scare the shit out of all the priests and nuns.
Makes me want to
Simpsons
go to the
inspired
haunted
Zach.
house for sure.
Any thoughts on the episode as a whole before we go into our wrap up?
It's better than the last one.
It was better than the last one.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
More
all.
violent.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
More gory than the last few episodes in general.
Funniest moment.
There's a couple really good ones.
For me, it's was it the third episode where they're trick-or-treating, and they stop by Principal Skinner's house, and they throw water balloons at his mom.
I'm
And
the
then she
principal's
said, yeah.
mother!
Which makes them throw him the water balloons
Even
fucking
more.
faster.
The
Faster and more intense.
Exactly. I think the funniest one for me though was the whole Mr. and Mrs. Smith episode where Homer was like, "How did you not tell me you're an assassin?" She's like, "I told you that 18 times." And he's literally sitting there with a newspaper. And he's
Honey,
like,
you're definitely more beautiful than she is.
I was like, "Yep, that's pretty fucking funny."
Yeah, I liked that moment as well. I think I'm going to go with the montage in the third segment, just because it's like, oh yeah, we're going to pull pranks. These are not pranks. These are legitimate misdemeanors.
Larceny.
Yeah, that just got me.
How's this a prank? You're stealing my stuff.
I guess Mole Man getting hit in the face with a baseball bat.
Yeah, that checks.
Yeah.
So undeserved.
Also, wasn't like we were expecting that too. Just him coming out of the freaking pillow sack and just whacking him with a
Yeah.
bat was fucked up.
Why me?
It's like you took that pretty far. Jesus.
Yeah. All right. Scariest, creepiest, grossest, or in the case of this episode, favorite use of violence.
Mine probably that waiter being shot in the head
Yeah, it was
and
cool.
like the blood just going
Yeah, that was definitely
down the
cool.
shot glasses is
Sure,
pretty
yeah,
freaking.
that was pretty good.
Yeah, damn. I like that's the one that sticks out the most for me is that one. I just liked how it looked, and it was cool. The design was cool. And then the one, like, I will say this too because I do want to give it some props, is I really love the animation when they're getting sucked into hell. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
cool how they did that.
Yeah, let's go with the Fountain of Blood.
I also liked the Fountain of Blood, but I'm also going to give a special mention to Homer going through the hammock.
Called it.
Yeah,
wait.
the Resident Evil.
I thought you were gonna go with the pillow. You guys thought that scene was way darker than what it really was. I swear.
I just thought it was funny.
Pansies.
Fucked up and funny.
I just thought it was funny.
But again, I don't have a soul.
Least favorite segment.
I guess one.
Yeah, I want to go with one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with one.
Yeah, I'm also going to agree.
Yeah.
One.
It was enjoyable, but like I think it's all because we come from a deep-seated hatred, or at least you guys come from a deep-seated hatred of ET. So it's kind of
Fuck that movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
I mean,
But also, Mr. and Mrs. Simpson was like the action in that one was fun.
Oh yeah.
And then in the third one, we got a really cool Halloween story with some creative violence in there
exactly.
Looks like they tried.
as well. Yeah.
The first one was more of, I guess the pillow gag. That's really about it. I'm not gonna really remember it too much.
Favorite segment.
3, I guess.
I'm gonna kind of go with 2. I just really enjoyed it.
Me
the
too.
the only criticism I have of 2 is it's one of those episodes that not necessarily fits within the Treehouse of Horror, gauntlet.
It's not.
That's
It's
not
supernatural. It's not a horror spoof. It's not a horror story. It's not even a sci-fi story. It's just this is something that they could never do in a regular episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so.
They really need to make another segment so they can actually do shit like that. I don't know why they didn't think of that earlier, because that would be just fine.
That's actually a good point. Like,
Like
do
we-
a specialty segment, like where
we
you.
have had some anthology episodes. Like we've had the Tales of the Public Domain where they did like Hamlet and Joan of Arc and Homer's Odyssey. There was one where it was like 3 revenge tales that had like Count of Monte Cristo and Bart as Batman.
That would've been interesting.
Last year they actually had the Thanksgiving of Horror,
Ah,
which was actually so much better than it had any right to be.
fair enough.
So they have had other anthology episodes before.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Family Guy does shit like that all the time because
Yeah,
they don't
like
have a
they did the,
specific treehouse thing. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
just if they want to do something, they're like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah,
Usually
'cause they did
Star Wars.
I remember the Stephen King trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like 2 and 3. I'm gonna give the edge to 3 because it does feel like a classic Halloween story. It is a relatable thing of not being given any candy.
Yeah.
The jerk neighbor. It did take the pranks way too far, as it should have, and it had some cool violence in there as well. So yeah, I thought this was a very fun episode, and also definitely better than 17.
Eh.
How much 17 swayed our opinions is up for debate.
A
but
lot.
It is definitely, I think, definitely confirmed this is better than 17.
It's also better than The Raven.
This episode.
Yeah,
Not,
I'm-
not last episode.
I'm with that. I'm with that. It checks out.
I'm still waiting for the day one is actually worse, but you're still yet to provide it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Midwest Horror Network's October 2020 special. Be sure to listen to our regular podcast, the Nightmares Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And be sure to look us up on social media on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and at Midwest Horror Network.
And if you're on Spotify, go ahead and press that follow button. And then also, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and stab that like button and press that subscribe button. And then go ahead and press the little dingy bell so you can be notified every time we release amazing content on the Midwest Horror Network. Thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow on the next episode.
Happy October 18th.